The asana names usually refer to the body parts that are actively involved in the posture, like hand to toe or revolving side angle. There may be names of animals like cow, monkey, frog, dog, or they can be named after objects such as the wheel, the plank, or the bow and arrow. However, there are three asanas that are completely different in the shape the body makes while holding the posture, yet they are called the same: half moon. Perhaps because a half moon can be growing or waning, it can be almost half or exactly half. It's a fluid transitional phase. One asana improves your balance, one flexibility, and the third half moon works on strength but also balance and flexibility. They all have one thing in common: the legs are spread apart but in different ways. Let's take a look at the balancing half moon. We can start from touching the floor or a step or a brick. Then move into the warrior 3. Now comes the tricky part. Open the pelvis and look up. Another way of doing it is leaning against the wall. We have to ensure that our hips are open and the pelvis is parallel to the wall. The half moon on the floor is going to be very difficult if your legs do not open wide. Let's first take a look at the modified version, with the legs about 90 degrees apart and one leg bent. Although some of my yoga students can't even open their legs that much. The stretch here is focused on the external hip area and above the hip, including obliques. So the wider your legs are, the easier it's going to be to lean towards the opposite leg. Hold on to the opposite thigh with your hand and start leaning towards the foot. The hand in the air reaches for the foot. In the end, we want to turn the chest towards the sky and place the lower shoulder in front of the knee on the mat. Always do some kind of warm-up before intense stretching, like half moon. If your muscles and tendons are warmed up, it's going to be easier to widen the legs. Also, fascia will be ready to slide with the tissue and give you even more flexibility. How do you get up? Pull on the thigh with the hand or place the elbow on the ground and push the ground in order to lift the torso. It is best to rest for 30 seconds after an intense stretch, so don't engage those muscles that have been stretching. Or worse, do not make them carry parts of your body immediately after the stretch. When stretched, muscles are weak, so it's dangerous to load them at this fragile moment. The third half moon is the one from the moon salutation sequence. This one stretches one side of psoas and strengthens the other. It also stretches or expands the whole front torso. It activates the glutes and back muscles. It expands obliques, but also makes you balance all that on one foot. The other foot is on the ground, but the whole weight should be on the front foot. We're going to start with the horse, Ashwaasana. Make sure your knee is ready and you do not have any pain in this bending position. Assume balance and stability on the front foot, and with an inhale, raise your arms. Follow your arms with your gaze. Go as far back as possible. If your knees cannot take the load, you can do it with the knees bent only 90 degrees above the heels. The goal of this posture is to separate the two psoas tentacles and to stretch it by bending backwards. Start by holding the posture for 3 breaths and increase to 5 to 10 as you become more stable. When returning, take time to counter stretch the back in a modified forward bend, and always do both sides equally. If you are not a beginner, you can connect the half moon to the mountain and continue with the moon salutation. Whether it's balance, flexibility, or strength, the half moons are excellent intermediate level asanas that will contribute to the well-being of your body and take your yoga practice to the next phase.